What's up everybody? Kellen here from Start Your Systems, and welcome to another edition of Track Walk in MX Simulator. Today, we're going to be playing the 2018 version of Briarcliff MX Park that is based in Ohio, just outside of Columbus, Ohio. And pretty, I feel like, well-known, semi-popular track that isn't ever been used for like a national or anything like that, but I feel like a lot of people know about this track, especially if you're obviously from Ohio or even from the East Coast. You've probably heard about this track before. I think they have regionals and Loretta Lynn's qualifiers here and stuff like that. So I wanted to get down and play it today because, well, I saw when it came out about a year ago, because this track's a year old now. And I wanted to play it then, and I have like a list compiled of tracks that I want to get around to doing track walks on eventually, but then obviously at the beginning of the year, it kind of took a bit of a hiatus from doing track walk videos, just busy with other stuff. So now that I'm back to it, I'm kind of going down my list of tracks that I've wanted to do for a while, and lo and behold, this one came up on my list. And this one's made by AtlasZoor, who a lot of you guys probably know or have seen his tracks before. He makes some really awesome stuff. He's done a lot of cool custom things, and this was actually his first replica track that he made, so wanted to get down, try it here today. You'll notice that the track seems to be set up a little bit like pre-erode kind of, whereas a lot of braking bumps on entry and the ruts are already pretty deep, so I'm not playing with a road today, but I think you probably could. And then it also seems as though Atlas chose to use a high-resolution overlay of the track as the decals for it. So it doesn't look that bad, and I have my graphics and everything maxed right now, but it also maybe doesn't look as like clean and fresh as some of like the newer decals that are being used in the game right now. So just a couple things to pay attention to when you actually try out the track. But yeah, I feel like it's a pretty good rendition of the track. I've seen a lot of helmet cams from this track before. One of my good buddies in sim, Cody Penwell, lived not too far away from this track for a long time, so I've used to see videos of him riding here all the time. And like I said, in general, the track seems to be pretty well known, regardless of whether or not you are a super fan of motocross. Like, you've probably seen this track in an onboard camera video or something like that before. And it's a neat little track. I feel like it doesn't change up all that much. I haven't seen many different iterations of the track, and I've actually played older versions of this track in sim before. In fact, now that I think about it, I may have actually done a track walk on an older Briarcliff before, but yeah, it's got good flow, big tabletops and stuff like that. I feel like they utilize an actually kind of tight space to put in a pretty decently sized track. It almost has like an in-between feel of like a local cross track and then like a more wide open national type track, where it's got some tight twisty sections, but it's also got a couple more sections that are more open brow and like these ones through the back trees and stuff you wouldn't see at a local cross type race, for example. But the successive tables on the finish line jump and then turn around and have another table going back the other way and stuff like that, it has some of those elements, like I said, that you feel like you're going to like a fair race almost, but it really doesn't have that same type of an effect when you watch the onboard camera videos. It does seem like it's got much more depth to the track than I feel like you would believe. So I've always actually enjoyed seeing those helmet cam videos of this track. Never actually been myself in real life, but it definitely looks like a cool track. I would probably enjoy the heck out of riding this thing in real life. And fortunately for me, I don't have to drive all the way out to Ohio to at least experience it on some level. I just download it here in MX Sim, AtlasZoor's rendition of it here. Nice job by the Zor man. As said though, there has been a couple renditions of this track done before. I believe Ryan Mahan, who's from the Dayton, Ohio area, also did a Briarcliff at one point, but I think it was back in like 2014, so this was before SYS was even around, so I didn't do a track walk because of it back then. And then, like I said, I saw this track slide through the forums not too long ago, and I was like, ooh, Briarcliff, want to try it out and see how this rendition is. And I really like what he's done here. I feel like he's just got like a perfect balance, does AtlasZoor, of the kind of roughness but flowiness, I guess, of the track too. Like, you can really connect the lines, like they lead into each other and they're not just like random ruts in a corner. each line that you take in a corner kind of leads into a line in the following corner for you to be able to attack each section of the track and not feel like you're just stuck doing the same thing over and over and over again. So that's kind of cool. Implementing some of the ruts on rollers on the straightaway is kind of a nice touch as well. I would say I feel like the traction is maybe a touch grippy. I don't know how good the traction is at Briarcliff, but you know, it's East Coast dirt, so it's supposed to be good, it's supposed to be fast, but I feel like I just carry so much speed through some of these sections that it doesn't seem as realistic. Maybe like keep the roll resistance high, and you know, that probably would have done just fine on the actual traction of this track, but I don't know. It's plenty good. I feel like it's fast, it's flowy, good turns, good tables. I love the tabletops, man. They're big floaters. Or actually, they're not even that big, but they feel big because the lips that he's built up to them, and then they're like most of the time right out of the corners here, so you feel like you're getting a decent drive up to it, but then suddenly you're floating in the air, and it feels like you're going far. Not really that far. But tables are fun. A couple of the intersections are kind of fun as well. I just love this flowy section in the back though. It's got such a nice little feel to it that you can kind of go into each corner and just connect the lines, connect each corner. The ruts are dug out really nice. And obviously you can play with the road too and dig them out even more and get the braking bumps kind of involved in that. And it might even get better. I didn't actually try to see if that would have made a difference this time. Probably should have, but this is a really good track actually for practicing long corners because it's got so many of them, like big flowy sweeping corners with big ruts in them. It's actually kind of a good trick to learn in Sim is to kind of connect those long ruts together because it's a pretty hard tool to have in your arsenal. Sometimes you have like the point and shoot method in this game where you get in and you try to like turn hard and bounce off of a rut and go into the next spot. If you can get used to getting into ruts like that and just connecting them and making the flow of it a lot better, your corner speed in the game will just go up in immeasurable amounts. Like you will suddenly be going a lot faster than you realize just by getting used to connecting the lines in the corners. And like I said, I feel like this track does a pretty good job of that because each line that you hit in every corner, it kind of it takes you into the next corner quite well, and you can hit another line in the following corner. I actually had never taken that outside right there before, but that's kind of a fun one. It sets you up to go middle outside here. A couple different options. You can even like break away mid-corner and go to a different rut. Just such a good feel out of those corners. Carry a lot of speed down that back straightaway, almost overcooked that corner. Obviously, I feel like this is gonna be really cool for you fans of mine that are based in the Ohio area or you know, in the like somewhere around that can go to Briarcliff on some occasions and actually have seen the track before, because you'll play this and be like, wow, like it's really cool to actually try a track that you go to very often. I remember that experience the first time I played Glen Helen in this game as a track that I go to regularly. Really cool to be like, wow, you're playing it in a video game. Like, yeah, I'd played Glen Helen in other video games before. I think it was the first game I'd ever played it in. It was in Championship Motocross featuring Ricky Carmichael back in the PS1 days, but to play it in a simulator, it almost gives you like a little extra like wow factor because the realism is obviously a little bit more there. It's not the most realistic game ever, but the hills are more accurate, the jumps are more accurate, etc. It's just a really cool feeling to be able to pick up something that you go and actually ride in real life and play it in a game. Always something really unique about Sim that I've felt, because so many local tracks that wouldn't obviously end up in a pro motocross video game if there was one end up in Sim. You can play Briarcliff. Milestone was never a national, but I've obviously played that in this game. I think I did one that's like based in Arkansas called Finger Lakes MX Park at 1.2. And then a couple other things like, shoot, what was that one that I played? Mesquite MX in Nevada is also in this game. Just a lot of just like local type tracks that, again, they're used for like Loretta Lynn's qualifiers, area qualifiers, regionals sometimes, but sometimes not even that. They're just good local tracks. Monster Mountain, another good example of that. but that you don't often see in other games. But Sim has them because, well, people that play Sim are obviously big moto enthusiasts, and they like creating the tracks that they're used to. So you get kind of this awesome circle of just the greatest tracks in the world all in one spot, and that's what makes Sim, I think, really fun. And that's why I like doing these track walk videos, because you get to see all of those lovely tracks from all over the world. So this is Briarcliff MX, the 2018 version by AtlasZoor in MX Simulator. If you guys want to try this one out for yourself, be sure to head down to the description below. I will have the link down there for you. You can go ahead and give it a go. And yeah, if you feel like you like it, try it out. Let me know. Give your thoughts and opinions. Always love to hear what you guys think about it. I'd actually love really to hear an Ohio native who rides the track very often, what their opinion of this track is in game. Disregarding that obviously Sim is an 11-year-old game, so it maybe doesn't look like completely awesome comparatively to the newer motocross games visually. But how's the track look? Does it look semi-real to the real track? What do you think? Let me know your thoughts and opinions. And as always, thank you guys so much for checking out another edition of Track Walk here on Start Your Systems. I'm Kellen, and I'll see you guys in the next one. So long for now.